Studies show that when you frame your task as quests instead of chores, your motivation can jump by almost 50%. That's why video games keep you hooked for hours, while everyday work can feel like a grind. As a freelancer or creator, you know how motivation can come and go. Gamification gives you a structure that helps you stay consistent, even when the work gets tough. In this video, I'll break down the psychology behind gamification and show you how to build your own achievement system, so tracking your work feels as satisfying as hitting a level up in a game. Let's look at why your brain responds so strongly to game-like systems and how you can use that to your advantage. Think about how easily you can get lost in a game, spending hours leveling up or chasing side quests while focusing on real-world work can feel like a struggle. This isn't just about willpower, it's about how your brain is wired. Games use these three powerful elements that line up with how motivation works: clear goals, instant feedback, and increase in difficulty. Each element triggers your brain's reward system, making effort feel good and progress addictive. The feedback loop you get from these mechanics actually rewires your brain for new challenges, a process called neuroplasticity. Researchers highlight this as a key reason why tackling new tasks, whether in a game or in life, can lead to a lasting motivation and growth. In contrast, most real-life tasks are vague and open-ended. You're told to get in shape or finish a project, but there's no clear path, no immediate feedback, and no sense of leveling up. That's why it's so easy to lose momentum. A University of Pennsylvania study found that simply labeling tasks as quests boosts performance by 48%. Your brain responds to structure and novelty, not just the outcome. When you don't have milestones or visible progress, motivation drops off quickly. Games never leave you wondering what to do next. You always know how much XP you need, what your next quest is, and how to measure your growth. Real life rarely hands you that kind of structure. But when you add novelty, like learning a new skill or setting up a fresh routine, your brain starts to adapt. This is neuroplasticity in action. Every time you take a new level, your brain rewires itself to handle new challenges. Apps like Haptica or Zombies tap into this by turning habits into quests and routines into progress bar, giving you visible markers to keep you engaged. The main difference between grinding in a game and grinding in life isn't about effort, it's about seeing your progress. Games give you progress bars and skill trees, while real-life achievement can feel invisible until you reach a distant goal. But you can bridge that gap when you apply these game mechanics to your own habits and routines. We'll break down exactly how to frame your work as quest, XP, and response. This way, your daily actions become part of a bigger system, just like building out your own skill tree in an RPG. To start building your own achievement system, think of your goals as a hierarchy. Just like in a video game, you have your end game bosses, those big, long-term objectives. Then you break those down into main quests for the year or month, and side quests for the week or even the day. For instance, if your 10-year-old goal is launching a business, a one-year main quest might be validating your idea, and a weekly side quest could be interviewing 5 prospects. This structure gives you a clear roadmap, turning overwhelming ambitions into a series of manageable steps. Let's look at a creative example. Say your ultimate goal is to publish a novel. That's your boss fight. To get there, set a main quest, like writing 1 chapter per month, and side quests such as finishing a 500-word sprint every morning. Each layer gives you a smaller one to celebrate and keeps you moving forward, even on days when motivation is low. This system works for any field: fitness, freelancing, learning a language, because it's about progress you can actually see. Rules and constraints aren't just limits, they're essentially for creativity and focus. Flow psychology tells us that defined constraints reduce decision fatigue, helping you focus on execution. For example, if you decide no writing after 8 p.m., you create a boundary that forces you to prioritize and optimize your time. These self-imposed rules act like the mechanism in a game, guiding your strategy and making each quest more engaging. Tracking your progress is just as important. Quantifiable tasks act like your personal hands-up display. If you're working on fitness, count your workouts or track miles run. For creative work, log words written or video edited, seeing the numbers go up gives you instant feedback and reinforces your motivation, much like leveling up in a game. You don't need fancy app. A simple spreadsheet or notebook works as long as you can see your progress. When you start something new, don't skip the learning phase. Every game has a tutorial where you master the basics before facing tougher challenges. The same goes for your real-life quests. We'll cover the tutorial phase in depth with AI as your sparring partner in Section 4. By designing your personal achievement system with these layers, rules, and feedback loops, you create a structure where progress is visible and setbacks are just checkpoints. Now that you have a system in place, let's look at how AI can become your ultimate guide, helping you practice, adapt, and level up with real-time feedback. Every great RPG has a guide. Think Navy in Zelda or Cortana in Halo. In your own skill building journey, AI can fill that role, providing structure and feedback as you move from learning to doing. Beginners often get stuck in the tutorial phase because reading or watching content doesn't offer the immediate feedback you need to improve. The real progress happens when you practice skills in realistic scenarios. And that's where AI stands out. It can generate lifelike situations for you to test new abilities, creating a safe space to try, fail, and learn, just like sparring with the game's early level enemies before facing tougher challenges. For example, instead of reading about negotiation, you can prompt AI to act as a tough client and run through practice calls. One freelancing pro reported tripling their confidence after simulating 20 client conversations in AI practice sessions. These AI-driven role plays turn passive study into active training, letting you experiment with approaches and learn from mistakes without real-world consequences. Each session becomes a practice quest, giving you a measurable progress and clear lessons. AI doesn't just help you practice, it also highlights what you still need to learn, similar to how a game tutorial blocks you from the next area until you've measured a skill. AI can point out gaps in your logic, missing knowledge, or weak arguments in real time. Treat AI like a sparring partner. Challenge it to question your reasoning, generate counterpoints, or test your understanding. This back and forth makes your learning more active and helps you adapt. Much like games require you to change tactics as you face smarter opponents. A standout feature of AI is how to adjust the challenges to your current level. Unlike static resources, AI can start you off with basic prompt and gradually increase the difficulty as your skills grow. This mirrors the brain zone of proximal development, where each new challenge nudges you just beyond your comfort zone. Practicing public speaking, begin with casual conversation. Then ask AI to simulate tougher interview situations as you improve. Each session acts like a mini boss, preparing you for bigger real-life challenges while keeping you motivated. AI also makes repetitive practice less tedious. It replicates the dopamine of grinding in games by offering endless practice scenarios, keeping you engaged while cementing skills. Language learners can chat with AI bots on new topics every day. Writers can request fresh prompts whenever they feel stuck. This variety prevents boredom and helps you build mastery through repeated but always slightly different practice. Instead of just asking AI for answers, use it to pressure test your abilities. Before a big interview or presentation, have it simulate the situation multiple ways, throwing different objections or questions at you. Like tweaking enemy difficulty in a game, you can design these challenges to grow with your skills. Plus, AI is always available for quick training sessions, whether you have 5 minutes or an hour. With AI as your guide, learning shifts from theory to experience. You're not just memorizing, you're actively testing and refining your skills in realistic scenarios. Each practice rounds give you feedback, highlights patterns in your performance, and shows you exactly where to improve next. Now that you have a guide for your practice quests, it's time to focus on how to choose the right level of challenge, so you're always growing, never overwhelmed. In games, the most engaging moment happens right after the edge of your comfort zone, just beyond what you already know, but not so far that it feels impossible. Growth works the same way. The familiar areas you've already mastered are comfortable but won't push you forward. The unexplored parts, the ones that seem just a bit out of reach, are where real progress happens. The trick is to stay in that zone where each challenge is interesting, not overwhelming. Think of it like adjusting the difficulty in a game. If you're learning a graphic design, setting a goal to recreate or troubleshoot weekly is a practical step. It's more challenging than just scrolling for inspiration, but not as daunting as inventing something from scratch. This kind of tasks pulls you in what researchers call the flow state. That sense of deep focus where you lose track of time. Research on flow suggests a 5% challenge increase is ideal for engagement and growth. Push too far past your current skill, and frustration takes over. Stay too safe, and boredom creeps in. Incremental progress is key. Adding just a little more difficulty each week, like writing 50 extra words a day or learning a slightly harder song, builds your skill without leading to burnout. Swap passive learning for active tasks. Once the basic feel easy, jump into real-world use, like writing short journal entries or trying a new technique on a simple project. You don't need to overhaul your whole routine at once. Instead, make small changes that nudge you forward. Dynamic adjustment matters too. Some days you'll feel ready for a tough quest. Other days you might need to drop the difficulty. That's normal. Even games give you the option to change settings based on your energy and focus. The important part is to keep moving that boundary outward, tracking your progress and recognizing each small win along the way. Entertainment companies use these same strategies to keep players engaged, tweaking challenges to maintain that just one more try feeling. When you apply this to your own goal, you create a system that rewards effort and keep you coming back. The more visible your progress, whether through XP bars, checklists, or simple logs, the more motivated you'll feel. Try pumping your next task difficulty by 5% and note how it feels. Share your experience in the comments. This progress turns progress into its own reward, making growth feel less like a grind and more like a game you actually want to play. With this mindset, you're not just reacting to what comes your way, you're actively shaping your own experience, one step at a time. Here's the reality: you are already playing a game. The only question is whether you're designing the rules or letting the default settings shape your path. Passive modes leads to stagnation, but active design makes growth feel rewarding and addictive. If you're ready to design your life's game rule, hit subscribe and drop your main quest in the comment. Let's level up together, expect response, celebrate every small win, and adjust the difficulty as you go. The grind is part of the story, and every side quest adds to your progress. Check out our resources in the description for more ways to keep your momentum going. I'll see you in the next one.